Hello, welcome back. This is part 2 of the writing process. Part 1 I dealt with pre-writing techniques, like ideas to how do you generate ideas for your writing, such as clustering, questioning, and brainstorming technique, as well as free writing. Now what I want to talk about is the rest of the writing process. So you've got your ideas, you've generated your ideas. Now we're going to talk about what do you do with all those ideas? How do you turn them into a written piece? So the first thing I want to point out is it's always a good idea to prepare some sort of an outline, a scratch outline. Now this is a plan for your writing, and it shows your purpose, your main points to prove your purpose. And you can use any of the techniques, including brainstorming, clustering, questioning, or free writing, which was mentioned in part 1 of the video, in order to develop your ideas for this outline. Now, for example, if you were asked to write a paragraph on what are some of the keys to college success, you would think about the topic, you do some brainstorming, and then you could come up with some kind of an outline that would show you what you're going to be discussing in your essay. So you're going to take those ideas and turn them into an outline. So the first thing you would do is to compose your topic, your opening sentence. What are you proving? That's what you would start with. What do you want to prove in this piece of writing? So you think of a topic and a controlling idea, and then you're going to narrow your topic enough so that you can clearly support it, and we're doing an outline for one paragraph. We'll start simply with one paragraph. So you begin by using your pre-writing techniques to support your ideas. Then you're going to choose 3 to 5 supporting ideas to clearly support your topic. And then you're going to write your paragraph. After your outline, you're going to then write your paragraph. So only your topic sentence is written as a full sentence in an outline. The rest of the outline is not written in sentence format. It's in point form. Now, I've given you an example of a basic outline, but I must say that there are many different types of outlines. And at some point soon, I plan to have another video that will help you learn the different types of outlines. This is a very simple one. But what you would do is you'd start, this is an outline for a paragraph. You'd start with a topic sentence. Okay, so what are you proving? This is what's your main idea? What are you proving? And that would be your topic sentence. Then this is your first idea. Your first idea, and then you're going to have 3 points to prove it. This is your second main idea, and you'd have maybe 3 points. You might only have 2, you might have 3, you might have 4. But if this is a paragraph, you can only say so much in a paragraph. Then the third supporting idea, that's your third main idea. You'd have 3 points. And then your conclusion, your concluding sentence. So let's look at an example because it'll make it a little bit clearer if I give you an example. So the topic I chose is being successful in college requires good time management skills, strong study skills, and effective note-taking skills. So let's say you were given the topic, what does it take to be successful in college? So you've got to think of ideas first. So first you would have brainstormed or clustered, and you'd think of everything you need that you think is necessary to be a success in college. And then now you would have narrowed it down to 3 categories. So you've brainstormed and you say to yourself, okay, I see now that I have these 3 categories. And they are, you need strong time management skills, might be one topic. You need strong study skills, will be your second. And you also need to learn effective note-taking skills. So you've decided to divide your paragraph into just these 3 different areas. So you'd start with your opening sentence, which in your outline it should be a full sentence. So your topic sentence is always a full sentence, your opening sentence. So your full sentence is, being successful in college requires good time management skills, strong study skills, and effective note-taking skills. So your first part of the paragraph will be A, on good time management skills. So that's the first topic. So after your opening sentence, you would say, first you need to develop good time management skills to be successful in college. And here are 3 things. You would use a calendar to mark due dates, meeting, tests, and exams. You could prepare a weekly study schedule, and you should make up a daily or weekly to-do list. So there's your first idea. Then here's your second supporting idea, and then you might say in your paragraph, the next method that you would require, or the next skill that you need in order to succeed in college, would be strong study skills. And here are your 3 points. Find a quiet work environment, put time aside daily to study and prepare, and don't leave assignments and studying for tests to the last minute. And then the third supporting idea that you have, that you would talk about, would be the importance of effective note-taking skills. And I've come up with 3 ideas. What you would need is to attend class regularly so that you could develop good notes for studying. Another way to develop strong note-taking skills and be a good note-taker is to review your notes daily. So if you're missing something, you would know about it. You could review it. You could ask your professor or your teacher. And then the third importance of good note-taking skills is you would learn to keep your notes clear and organized. And then your conclusion, because you always end a paragraph with a conclusion, and your conclusion restates what you said in your introduction. Review these practical ways to take charge of your college life, and you will reap the rewards of being successful in college. So this is a sample, one sample, and there are so many different types, but this is a general scratch outline on a paragraph. I've given you the topic, and so now you know what's expected from a basic outline. The third important aspect of the writing process, this third stage, is now writing the first draft. So you've got all your brainstorming and clustering. You've now turned that into an outline, and now you're going to start writing your draft. Now you may think of further ideas when you're writing your first draft. There might be something else that you forgot, and you can include it here. You would add those ideas as you think of them. Now, in the writing of the first draft, you only work on the content of your writing. Please don't worry about your grammar, your spelling, or your sentence structure. That will all come in another stage. Keep writing so you don't lose the flow of your thoughts or the flow of your words. You can write notes in the margin of your rough draft if you think of any other ideas you may want to add at some point. And if you can, it's wise to put the first draft aside for a few days before you tackle the final draft. If you like handwriting, you could do it on writing. You could just write on paper and then you scribble here in the margin, or you could type it on the computer, and when you think of another idea, you can just quickly add those ideas at the side. And after you do your first draft, put it aside if you've got the time. That's why you shouldn't rush and leave your work to the last minute. Put it aside, and then you could reread it at a later date or a day or two later. Now, I know that's easier said than done. We all tend to procrastinate and leave things to the last minute, but if it's a really important piece of writing, even something like a resume, a cover letter, an important essay, a business report, you really should take your time and start it ahead of time, because you want to impress the person who's reading this piece of work. So the next stage after writing the first draft is called the revising stage. And what do you do in the revision stage? Well, revising means rewriting. You rewrite your letter, essay, or any other piece of writing, and you build on what needs to be done because you want to produce a very well-written final product. So the first draft should never, ever be the only copy or your final copy. So now you have the first draft, now you're revising. Now what does it mean to revise? What are some tips on revision? And I've outlined quite a few. So here are the tips on this stage of writing. First of all, put your first draft away for at least one day, and you'll then return to it and you'll tackle it with a whole fresh perspective. Because when you keep at something and you read it too many times in the same day, your mind gets clouded and you're not going to pick up on your mistakes. So I suggest you put it aside. That's the first thing. You put your rough draft aside, your first draft, the first copy of your writing, and then the next pointer is you could read your work aloud and very slowly. I tell students when they read aloud, and I know myself when I do this, it really helps you to pick up errors that you maybe didn't spot before. So go to a private spot in your house, in your apartment, wherever you live, and find a quiet place and read your work out loud. Then you could add material, or you might say, oh, I don't like this idea. This idea doesn't fit in here. This isn't necessary. This doesn't make sense, and make your corrections where necessary. Next, be completely focused during this stage. Okay? Don't have the TV on. Don't be on the telephone. Don't listen to loud music, or just have a complete quiet environment, maybe some soft background music, but it's best just to have it completely quiet and be fully focused during the stage. Turn everything off and really spend some quality quiet time if this piece of writing is important to you. Then you repeat the revision stage as many times as possible. So you read it, you're not happy, you rewrite it, or go back on the computer, add ideas, change it up, move paragraphs around, keep working at it, and then put it aside again. You can write comments and changes as you see them without worrying about your paper being messy. Doesn't matter. It's still a revision. It's still rough. And make changes because you're still working on yet another draft. The more drafts you write, the better you'll get. I know it is time consuming, but you need to make time for that if it's an important piece of writing. Next, check the flow of your paper and look, do you use transition words like joining words? Examples of transition words would be something like first, next, following, finally, at the beginning, at the end. Those are all words that link. Okay, so see if you have done that. Are your details sufficient? And do your ideas run smoothly together? Is it all flowing? Do you like the flow? And then ask yourself if all your revision copies have been double spaced, because you should really revise and do all your writing in double space because you might want to add in other ideas. Single space is too confusing. So it should always be double spaced. Everything should always be double spaced so you can add ideas. Double space, whether you've handwritten or word processed, because it allows room for changes and comments. And now the final, crucial final stage is called the editing and the proofreading. And you know, you cannot hand in anything without editing and proofreading and expect it to be top notch and expect yourself to be really, really proud and to impress somebody unless you've gone through this stage, because this is where you fine-tune it and you're going to pick up your mistakes. So this is the final stage of the writing process. And in this stage, you have to check really, really carefully your paper for errors in grammar, in spelling, in punctuation, usage, and sentence structure. Now, you might just be sick to death of that piece of writing and you just don't want to look at it anymore, but you cannot not eliminate this stage of writing. It's crucial because you will pick up on mistakes the more you proofread and edit your writing. So here are a few pointers. Now, I have a lengthy video on proofreading tips that it would probably be a smart thing for you to look at before you hand in a piece of writing or a resume or a business letter. And it's a checklist, and you go through that list and see if you have followed what I've outlined in that list, because that will really help you with your writing. So here are some pointers. First of all, give your paper and your eyes a rest. Don't complete the final stage when you're tired, or if you're sick of working on this piece of writing. Put it aside, because you won't pick up on your mistakes if you're really tired or you're sick of your writing. Put it away. Once again, another piece of advice again is to read your writing out loud and read it very slowly and take your time, line by line, word by word. So look for one type of error at a time so you won't be overwhelmed. So what I suggest, and what I mean by this is, what you should do is go into categories. First, read it and look for your sentence structure. So look to see if you have any incomplete ideas. Do you have any sentence fragments? Do you have run-ons? Any comma splices? Again, I have videos on all these topics to help you, because those are major errors in your writing. Then after you look at errors in structure, in sentence structure, now look to see if you have all your capitals and your punctuation. Then you could carefully check all your facts. Are your facts correct? Are your dates accurate? Do you have figures, statistics? Any examples that are incorrect? Because you don't want any false information on your paper. Then the next category could be spelling. Check your spelling. Put spell check on. But I must tell you that spell check will not pick up on every single mistake. Sometimes it won't pick up on homonym errors like there, to, your, and your. There's certain errors it doesn't pick up on. have a dictionary handy as well as a thesaurus. So the dictionary will help you with your spelling, and a thesaurus, and those of you that aren't sure, thesaurus, S-A-U, oops, sorry. It's a hard one to spell. Thesaurus is like a dictionary, and it's got synonyms. It has words that mean the same, so you can vary your writing. Instead of saying your goal is, you could say my ambition, my aim in life, my plans, my future plans, so you don't have to keep repeating yourself. This is what a thesaurus will do for you. And also, what else you could do is ask someone you can rely on to read your work and offer you feedback. So that's another thing you could do. If there's somebody that you trust who's quite a strong writer, then you might ask somebody at home or a friend to read your work and to offer you some feedback. And then the last point is to review my video on proofreading and editing tips, and you'll see that I've included a very precise checklist to help you to edit your business letters, report writing, business plans, essays, emails, or any other formal piece of writing. So please take all these pointers, keep them in mind, and remember that you can write and rewrite to improve your writing, and your writing that you hand in is a reflection of you as a person, of what you're trying to impart to your reader, and you want to impress somebody and leave a lasting impression on your reader. As well, good reading, good writing, good vocabulary all go hand in hand with being articulate and speaking well and clearly as well. So I hope you found this helpful. Lots of pointers to assist you with writing, with the writing process. And please contact me if you have any questions. I'm glad to help you out at InTheEnglishCorner.com. Thank you so much for listening to part 1 and 2 of the writing process, and I hope to hear from you and look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye-bye.